This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.
Hello everybody, it's Paul Leeson with the Raw Life Health Show. So, as many of you know from watching my show, I do intermittent fasting. And for a long time, actually most of this year, starting last year on my birthday to this year on my birthday, which is in mid-November, I did intermittent fasting of eating every other day. And the days I wasn't eating, I was either doing nothing at all. Sometimes I would do water, but most of the time I would do some type of juice. And then it came to a point in August where I got my kitchen worked on, and I didn't have available to my juicer, and it made it harder not to eat the other days when I wasn't juicing on a consistent basis. I decided to switch back or to switch to and experiment with, instead of eating every other day, I decided to experiment with eating once a day or one meal a day, or the OMAD diet. It made sense to me from many different standpoints, and to fit my current issue with my juicer and so on. So my goal was to eat one meal a day, and I was struggling with that, so I went back to doing every other day. And when I rethought about why I was struggling with doing one meal a day, I see other people that are doing one meal a day, and they have an eating window, not just a meal. So their eating window might be they only eat, let's say, 4 hours a day. So they might only eat from like noon to 4 p.m. and they're not eating the other times. The advantage of that is they're fasting for 20 hours every single day on a consistent basis. Some people's window might be 6 hours to eat, and some people's window might be 2 hours to eat, whatever it is. For me, I was just trying to fit everything in one meal, and that was, I think, pushing it to a certain level. And I was trying to go without juice fasting in between, so that's one of the reasons why I was trying to switch it up as well. But for me, I seem to be doing best on eating one meal a day. Now, I do want to talk about being successful on a raw food diet, which I've been for many, many years, and also emotional eating, and the intermittent diet and emotional eating. I don't want people to use an excuse to eat when they don't want to eat, or to eat something they don't want to eat. So I pretty much have been on a 99% raw food diet since I went back and gave up cooked foods a couple of years ago. But I have had a very emotional experience happen recently, in terms of a breakup, so to say. And as long as I'm focused, I have no problem with food, with diet. I can fast, I can eat so long. But at the right time, if somebody hits my nerve, I could just say forget about it and run to food. So I'll eat when I don't want to eat, or I'll eat something I don't want to eat. And I'm vegan, and I consider myself a raw foodist, a raw vegan. But if my daughter's eating something and somebody, whatever happens, if I get emotionally out of place where I should be, and she says, I'm done eating, and I say, well, just give me it. I hate to throw away food, so I might have a couple of bites of the food. I never feel good when I do that physically. So I haven't given up the taste of cooked food immediately, and it's not a good thing to do. I'm not perfect. I've been perfect. For 20 years, I didn't touch cooked food, and I know I could do that. And even I went through emotional things in 20 years. I knew I could do that. But the intermittent fasting is wonderful. But for me, and for what I want to discuss, is the filler of eating when you don't want to eat, or eating something you don't want to eat. It all comes down to juicing to me. Juice is the greatest thing, because I've been promoting a daylight diet. So you see, it's starting to get dark out now. So yeah, I want to eat. I eat habit. People eat have a habit hunger, not real hunger. But it's getting late. So instead of eating, I'll have a juice. And that juice will fill and sustain me and my appetite. Now that's not going to work for everyone. I find if you have a sugary juice, you just want more juice or more food. When you have a green juice, it's pretty filling when there's mostly greens in there. So that's something I find. So I want to encourage anyone that's interested in going on a vegan diet, making any diet change, or people that are just interested in going on intermittent fasting, going some time without eating. Ideally, dry fasting or water fasting would be great in certain situations. But doing juice or getting a juicer and doing juice to make those transitions or to help you during those emotional times, they're fine and they're great, and it's okay. As a matter of fact, when I tried to go eat one meal a day, I really was struggling with it because when you eat, you just want to eat. And when I'm eating every other day, the other days I'm not eating, I'd like to cut my meals to twice a day, but I find myself often picking food more than I should on those days. But what the whole juicing and everything put together has done for me is, so now when I try to eat every other day, what's been happening lately is I'm ending up eating every day, but like one meal a day, or at least within a very short window of time. So when I planned to eat such a short window of time, I struggled with it. But now I'm planning to not eat at all. So when I do eat, I'm eating much less. So there's some strategic things behind this, and I'll keep you all updated. I still feel better than I've ever felt in my life. My stomach is still flat, and I feel amazing. So, I mean, in essence, I'd love to eat. If I could eat 7 meals a week, that would be perfect. You know, or once a day, the days I eat, and not eat the other days. And that would be great. 14 meals, okay. But, you know, I don't like to pick and do things like that. So I think we need to have a plan and stick to it as best we could. But make those appropriate adjustments like I've made in terms of what I'm eating and when I'm eating and how I'm eating. You know, if it's working for you, whatever you decide to do, great. But if it's not working, consider making adjustments to help it out, to help yourself out. And, you know, don't ever get too stuck in doing one thing without experimenting. But if one thing is working for you, stay there as long as possible, as long as you can. All right, I don't want this to sound confusing to people. I just want people to know that, you know, that we can always do better. But if you're satisfied where you are, there might not be a need to try to do better. You know, a lot of people are settling for less, and they're not satisfied. So I want you to make those appropriate changes. Whether you're doing intermittent fasting, eating once a day, eating every other day, experiment and see. The best way you're going to find the answers is to try something. And you don't want to learn from your own mistakes, try to learn from other people's mistakes, right? But that's what I try to do, and I feel great. I feel amazing. And today I ate a short window. I'm not picking up food until, and lately I haven't been eating juice or anything until later in the day, and then I might have a juice in the evening or earlier in the day. I'm trying now to get as much juice as possible early in the day because I don't want to miss my juice. I really do feel special from the juice, so I'm trying not to miss my juice. So that's the only reason why I might try to eat earlier. But lately I found myself, my goal is to eat every other day and juice on the days I'm not eating. But then again, I found myself the days I was eating, I wasn't juicing. Ideally, what I've been doing lately is I have skipped some days with food, but for the most part, I've been eating every day, and I'm not starting eating till like later in the afternoon, sometimes till 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I might first juice, and then after the juice, I might have a meal or something. So that's what I've been doing lately, but it keeps changing, and I'll keep you all updated. All right, so I just want to inspire you, and hopefully something I say will help you. It is possible to be vegan. It is possible to be raw, and you can feel great. All right, sun's going down, and so am I. Have a great night and a great raw life.
This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.